What's up, everybody? I'm Meister Adam, joined by Meister Patrick.
Hello again.
And we're back with more Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
If you could believe it.
Because I was somehow edited into this late.
Yeah. All right, so Adam's here. We're at the beginning of the game again, and I'm going to have him try to play it, because Melissa already tried to play it. So hopefully the sensitivity is not too high, if I set things right. Does it feel high?
I don't know. It's my first time playing the game. So
That's true.
I don't know what is high and what's sober.
That's true.
Oh, man. It feels kind of high.
It might be. It might be high.
Yeah, it feels very high. Okay, this might feel a little better.
Okay, good. All right, so here we are playing the game. So I got Adam to try this because I just wanted him to get an idea for how this game feels. So currently he's going to be using mouse first.
I'm really not good at this. Like, this is I don't know if you guys have ever played Perplex Alexis, but this is way harder than that.
Perplex Alexis? I don't think I have.
For Perplex Alexis?
It sounds like an interesting game. So he has a controller with him to try at some point if he would like. But for now, we're going to start with him with the mouse just to see what that feels like. There you go. You're kind of doing it. And he watched the whole series for the most part, all the important parts. He watched the first 2 episodes. And so he knows like all the things that I've told Melissa already about this game. So
yes. I know I'm not going to make it to the orange.
No.
Hey, you know this guy's a lot more buff when I look at him now. Like,
yeah. It's got that definition.
Yeah, he's got some good...
He's, what do you call it? Fergalicious, definitious...
Make them... Do boys go loco?
Is it Boys Go Loco?
I thought it was.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
No, it sounds right. It sounds right.
I mean...
There you go.
The boy.
So, how does it feel?
It feels like...
Go on. Madonna.
Song? Yeah. Thank God you got that. I was like, I really hope this isn't going to fall on deaf ears.
No, we know Madonna here. Although I prefer like a Surgeon by Weird Al Yankovic, but that's fine.
All right. Thanks for coming with me on this trip.
So we can ignore Bennett Foddy, as we've already heard all of this stuff since we restarted the game yet again. I think it's the 3rd time resetting the game, or 4th,
Don't worry.
I have no idea.
I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
Yeah, Bennett. No one cares. I feel like we should turn Bennett off.
You can turn Bennett off?
Yeah, go ahead and click escape.
But I like Bennett.
Well...
Where's Bennett?
Is he there? Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, voiceover volume? I mean, we could
I see. You
turn
can
it all the way down.
Gotcha.
No, I want.
Okay, yeah, have Bennett there. Have Bennett there. So yeah, so basically, Melissa is a lot of fun to watch try to struggle through a video game, but she's not terribly good at communicating how it feels compared to other games she's played, considering she hasn't played too many games.
It's definitely a unique experience.
It is, and that's kind of why I want to show it off at some point on the channel, and originally I was going to do it with Melissa just for the sake of it's just such a hard and weird game that I don't feel like you need too much prior video game experience to be able to play it. It's just kind of its own thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of a horrible... I get it.
Yeah. So, but because of that, I figured after playing it myself, I realized this game plays so much different than I thought it did after watching it.
Exactly, yeah. It's really weird.
Most of the time, I feel like I'm pretty darn good at like knowing what a game's going to feel like if I just watch it. That's why I watch a lot of series, because for me, it's like I really don't generally get much more out of it by playing it myself. This is one of the exceptions where I felt like I totally did not guess how this game would feel, even a little bit from watching it.
I don't... Oh, so close.
See, that's where I was talking about by the low sensitivity, by the way. You see how you did a full circle, but it didn't go all the way to the outside like that?
Yeah.
That's why we turned the sensitivity up, so you can get full circles easier. See, you didn't do a full circle. That's why you need the sensitivity high. See? That's where the sensitivity comes into play, is trying to do those full circles. See? See how you're not doing a full circle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I prefer the higher sensitivity, because otherwise you can't get those. It makes the like small movements require a whole lot more finesse, but the big movements become possible. So, but that's what trackpad tuning is for. So this is the mouse tuning you're currently using. So I want you to try after you feel like you want to move on to the next controller option, you can try the controller, and then finally I want you to try the trackpad tuning, after you've kind of gotten used to doing the mouse for a little while.
Okay.
I prefer the trackpad tuning, which is you get better circles, but you get worse.
I wanna try
trackpad?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that trackpad.
So it should move a lot faster. And you see, when I had trackpad tuning, I even turned it up a little bit from here. I had it set like set it about to like halfway. I think that's where I had mine set. So it moves like pretty fast.
It does move pretty fast.
So it's a lot easier to get those full circles. See?
It is.
Exactly.
Ooh.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. It's crazy how, like, watching this, I don't think you can understand that difference. You really have to, like, feel it in the mouse movement.
Yeah, it's like, Oh man.
But it makes a huge difference.
This is definitely a very unique game. Ooh, we're getting some stutter.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
It might just be on
Game
your
was a
end. I didn't
homage
see
to a
anything.
free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking. The author of
Oh
that
yeah,
game was
we've already heard all
Jezza,
this.
a
So
mysterious
that
chick
was one thing though
who was
that I
known
noticed
as
in
messed up
tabs.
by other
I had
games.
there was one part where
B-games
I thought we had a
are
bunch of stutter,
assemblages
but
of
then
found
when I was
objects.
editing it,
Designers
there was no
slapped them
stutter at all.
together very
So
quickly
I believe
and
that's just
freely.
on
And they're
our
often
end.
too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the
So how do you
joy of
feel about
building
the idea
than
of
its
these
polished
B
product.
games, which he's currently talking about? So his
Like,
definition of a B game, for reminding everyone out there, even though he just said it literally, is a B game is a game made for the sake of design and not for the sake of an audience necessarily. And so it uses primarily default assets to build a sort of concept.
I don't think that's the definition of B game at all.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's wrong.
What do you say a B game is then?
A budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, gaming is a business,
Yeah.
and the amount of money put into it. So I guess in the sense of having like assets, I guess yeah, you could look at it that way. But I would say no, the amount of like some game, because that doesn't have to do with quality. Like the way he makes it sound is like, well, I mean, there's like no one to impress. It's all about vision. I'm like, yeah, but like no, because there's games that are like entirely about vision, like Bound, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put this game and that game in the same.
Right. I think he'd argue that's not a B game. That's an indie game. He's saying not all indie games are B games. Saying B games are games that are specifically, like not kind of designed for anybody other than the creator.
Well, I'd almost argue, that all games do that.
I think there's plenty of games out there that are designed for an audience, especially AAA titles. I don't think AAA titles were made with exclusively the creators of the games in mind.
But I mean the exclusive. Okay, hold on. The my brain is not made to think this way.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not easy. It's fun watching you struggle.
It is
though.
very fun watching someone else struggle.
The crazy thing about this game that I don't understand is once you've passed an obstacle, I feel like that obstacle becomes a lot easier.
Speak
And
for yourself.
I found this.
I'm like
I mean,
still
yeah,
trying to discover like how to move properly. Can I
Right.
can I move this out of the? I've been like resorting to this tiny area because I
Oh,
don't want
yeah,
to
put
knock
that on
over
your
the
lap or
Xbox
something.
controller. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I might have been worse this whole time.
Sorry, the controller was on the mouse pad, so we had less mouse
Yeah,
space.
I had less mouse space, so I was like trying to maneuver around it the whole time.
Sorry, I didn't realize I thought you picked that up already. I put it there for you to like, move off. But yeah, so there you go. There
Oh my
you
god!
go.
Now that I have all this space.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I felt like I was very surprised by that fact. I didn't feel like challenges were going to
In a
get any
certain
easier
way,
after I'd done
Sexy
them.
Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game.
So you're talking more about B
It's
games.
built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts. And it's
Yeah,
one
that
of
just
the
sounds
most
like a budgeting
unusual and
thing again.
unfriendly games of its time.
Ooh.
In it, your task is simply to drag
Nice.
yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor.
I don't know what he's talking
No
about here
amount of
with.
forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs
put your hammer
are
on
too
top of the
sheer
barrel.
Or too slippery.
There you go.
And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Dang it.
Like there.
Dang
So
it.
you didn't see my review of this game at the end of the third episode, but I did kind of talk about the fact that you probably felt it there, where your hammer moves up when you fall. Did you notice that?
A little bit.
It really bugged the heck out of me, and it's the main reason I don't like playing this with a mouse, because it doesn't do that on a controller. I mean, it does do that
Oh,
if you.
just lost a lot of
No, I think it
progress.
does. I don't know.
That's a deep frustration, a real punch in the gut.
I don't think I lost too much, Bennett. Now I have.
I was gonna say like, we haven't made enough progress to lose any. But yeah. So anyway, I don't know. So his argument is that a B game is very different from an indie game, in that it's something that's like below an indie game even. It is all B games are indie games, but not all indie games are B games. I guess is what he's saying.
I don't know, because indie to me, right? I mean, by definition, independent developer.
Right. Should be any game whose developer did not require a publisher that is a different company.
Dang it.
Oof,
The publisher and the developer
sorry.
should be the same company, i.e., it was published independent of a major publisher.
We're gonna get there eventually.
So yeah, there's a lot of games that are called indie games that are not
Yeah.
independent even a little bit. Nowadays, people usually use indie game to refer to any small
Smaller.
team. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, we didn't used to call it IP either. We would just say series, you idiots. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry. IGN just makes terms, and I don't like it.
I'm surprised the term, I guess, already existed. They just, I don't know, it caught on suddenly.
I don't know. Like the other day, I heard the term trans game,
Trans game.
and I was like,
What is a trans game?
like transsexual? Like if it
Okay.
gives you the option, and I was like, no, it's just a game that has the. Okay, whatever. I was,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I was like, yeah, it's trans role playing. I was like, no, it's just a role playing game where you can choose also to be trans.
I see. So just
Don't
like,
like market it like everyone's
inclusive role player,
exclusively.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have the option, but don't like make it sound like you're alienating everyone who isn't. I'm being alienated right now. This is ridiculous, Patrick. Okay.
do you want to try the controller finally?
Yeah, I want to try the controller.
Go for it.
Will it just work?
So the way it works, yes, it does. So the way it works is if you use one stick or the other, it moves slow. If you use both sticks at the same time, it moves fast.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it feels a lot more like one-to-one. It's just like much less precise because you have a controller.
No, this just feels a lot more precise to me.
That's what I said.
Like,
Just-
there's no downside to it.
Oh,
Okay, so you said 2 sticks for double the speed.
yes.
Okay, so. And
So
if I
it-
do nothing, it'll just relax it. Interesting.
Yes. Very interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I like the controller for most things, but when I had to place the hammer in a really small spot, like a really, really precise spot, that's when I found the controller didn't work for me. But maybe
Oh,
you
this
won't
seems
feel the same
even
way.
better. Yeah, no, this feels much better. Like my precision skills feel like they've gone up.
I like the
tenfold.
controller generally better, but like I said, there were some. I mean, we'll see if we got there or not. Definitely, this sort of portion of the game is more.
I'm doing
blunt.
terrible at that, and I'm not going to deny it. But now that I'm learning this different controller type, it's
Yeah.
like relearning the game I just got down. This is hard.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I wish we could like call indie games that are actually indie games. But it's fine. Any small team game is usually called an indie game. But
Just
I don't
dumb.
know. I just kind of wish we didn't call it that. I
Back
kind
to Bound again. That's like a major first party. Well, I mean, not major first party, but dang it.
of.
It's like hard to get used to, like multiple controls wise.
Yeah. Yeah, Bound is right, so Bound is what I would like to call like I don't know, a single A game or whatever, where it's like built by an indie developer but not published independently. By an indie developer, I mean a small team developer. And then
I know it looks like I'm really bad at this game, guys, because I went from using one mouse to 2 joysticks, and when I already didn't know how the game worked very well,
Yeah.
so I'm like trying to sexually experiment here. Hold on.
Okay. Well, we're all
Interesting.
I mean, we all know you're going to do bad. This game's hard.
We learned that menage
Oh, yeah.
a trois means household of 3.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Menage means household. I always thought it meant a group, but I was wrong. It was a household.
Shoot, I feel like the controller's better, but I feel like I already learned the language of mouse to start, and it's like gonna screw me up.
I don't know. It's something's different about the mouse that like I don't know. It does work in its own way, but I don't know. I think everyone who's like very good at this game does use a mouse, as far as I know. Like speedrunners and stuff, I believe they all use mice. But the controller does feel nice. Unnamed Friend prefers controller in this game, and he's gone a lot further than I ever have.
Why
But
is
yeah,
he still unknown friend? Is he gonna appear?
I hope so. But at this point, probably not for a while, considering I moved away and all that. He was supposed to though. He was supposed to before I left even, but it didn't happen. So we'll see. At this point, it's just easier to keep calling him that until he shows up.
But it's not easier to keep calling him that.
Unnamed Friend?
Yeah,
But I've been calling. I don't know.
I know, but there's so much more syllables. Okay, hold
But
on.
it's fun.
Hold on.
Everyone knows who I'm talking
What?
about.
I didn't even. Okay. Literally nobody knows who you're talking about except for me and Melissa.
They know I'm talking about Unnamed Friend though. It's always the same guy.
You haven't specified.
I have. I always specify that. I specified that in I don't remember which playthrough that was. I think it's several times though. I've said it. I definitely said it in the Alice playthrough. But I've said it some other places. The Unnamed Friend is always the same person. His name is Unnamed Friend.
Oh, what is it?
It is.
Okay.
You're doing well. You're doing good.
Am I? I haven't
Uh-huh.
gotten past the coffee cup yet.
Oh yeah, you haven't gotten to the coffee cup yet. Interesting.
I'm learning.
What does that make you?
Someone who doesn't have coffee.
Fair. All right. So yeah,
okay,
I
so
think
from
the
that
trick
action,
is
I did nothing.
yeah, you want the hammer on top of the barrel, the
Oh,
second
yeah?
barrel. Yeah. Ideally, so you want it like like there-ish or something. Probably even further left if you could, but you get what you can. Yeah, I can't believe you're there. You go. Yeah, and then if you can swing around from there, that's about what you're looking for.
Hold on, I'm going the wrong way.
Uh huh. Go on. Yeah, the like flat head of the hammer makes it so your grip is in like a different spot depending on what side of it you're on and stuff. It's pretty interesting. There you go. Perfect. You did it. Now just don't fall to your death. And just don't mess it up, and you'll be good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a place for distinguishing
Anyway,
a B
when you start
game.
sexy hiking, you're standing next
Oh,
to this
yeah.
dead tree that blocks the way
Yeah,
to the entire
we started
rest
next to a
of the
dead
game.
tree in this game, Bennett.
It might
Thanks
take you
for
an hour
noticing.
to get over that tree, and a lot of people
So you have
never
to
got
pull
past
in.
it.
You have to pull towards your
Prod
character.
and
There you go.
poke at
You
it,
got it.
exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up.
I feel
and
like that's
over.
part of what makes it easier
There's
is
a
you kind of
sense of
figure out
truth
tips like
in
that
that
where
lack
you're
of
like, oh, you got to
compromise.
do this like thing here.
Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely
You're
confident
fake.
in your ability to get through them.
I do know what he
once you
means,
have the
though, by
correct
this.
method or the correct equipment, or just by spending
Let's
enough
see.
time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
I mean, is every pixelated obstacle real though? So how do you feel about that comment that Bennett Foddy made?
Well, I'm sorry. That everything is perceived difficulty.
Yeah, so so many games will have perceived difficulty in them versus not necessarily well, at least in this case he's talking specifically about like obstacles that aren't real. I guess fake obstacles in video games. Cuz there are some games that, well, I mean in this case, so I'm not talking about like I mean, he might have, I don't know. But avoiding the topic of like enemy design, in that I'd say that arguably any like AI controlled enemy is, I guess, a real obstacle, because you don't necessarily have to get past it or anything. If you don't do anything, you will not
Obstacles in
get past
sexy
it.
hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating. But I'm not sure Jazuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing. and
Yeah.
It's authentic to the process
Dang it.
of building a
Right. So
game.
there are other frustrating games, but
A funny thing happened to me as I was building
yeah,
this
I don't know.
game. I'd have
Interesting
an
that
idea for
he
a
views
new
frustration
obstacle,
as like
and I'd
a
build it,
good
test it,
aspect, but I do
and it
people
would
do.
usually
It's
turn
not
out
my
to be
favorite thing, but
unreasonably hard.
I get that. I don't
But I
know.
couldn't bring myself to make it easier.
I
It
can
already
like
felt like my
sympathize, but not
inability to
empathize
get
with
past
it.
a new
You're about to
obstacle
catch up to where we
was
were.
my fault as a player
Dang.
rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains
Too
build
fast.
themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into
So
something.
you probably want to put it under you from that side, yeah.
I think I can just touch the tip.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's probably
Oh.
not worth it though. Yeah, I always forget how I actually get up there normally, but because this is one of my newest obstacles. No, I wouldn't try it. Just push
I'm
off.
gonna try it.
Okay, go for it. But yeah, I think the trick here is
Just
to
the tip.
push off and swing. So anyway, yeah. So I don't know what the value of distinguishing a budget game from, or whatever, a B game from just a like, indie game. I guess if you had a high budget indie game versus a low budget indie game. I feel like all indie games are probably lower budget than, at this point we have like AAA games, which are super high budget. And then we have like AA games even, or which is not a term, but games like Gravity Rush, where it kind of has like a media budget.
Yeah. That's not even a medium. It's still a huge budget. It just doesn't have a super huge budget.
Right, it's not AAA.
Oh, it happened again.
Well,
Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
I'm trying, Bennett, but
So you're definitely liking this better than the mouse?
yeah, but it is like hard for me to. Should I say this? Menage my hands together.
Yeah, no.
It's a very confusing
doesn't make much
perspective.
sense.
It's very
Yeah. And things move fast.
they do.
I have a hard time like
Oh.
following the action a lot of times while playing it, because like things that I expect to happen don't happen, and that's kind of weird. So yeah, let's see. Is there anything else about this game that I want to talk about since I have you here? Well, I guess one thing is the idea of, I talked about this in the third episode as well. The idea of, I don't know if Bennett feels this way about this game or not. I assume he does because of how he talks about it. I don't know how other people feel, but your failures in this game, right? A lot of people talk about a lot of different games. I'm using big old words that just encompass a lot of video games, but a lot of people talk about like Dark Souls, for example. They'll say like, "Oh yeah, when I fail
This
in
thing
the
that we call
game,
failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Mary
yeah,
Beth.
that thing about staying down. When you lose or whatever, a lot of people feel like it was their fault as a player and not necessarily the game's fault as a game that they failed. Versus a game like, I don't know, what's
Which
a
I
game?
don't know why they say that. They're incorrect.
But so how do
Like
you?
Dark Souls doesn't have like good like I feel like frame timing and like animation and like there's like a lot of issues I have of why I think Dark Souls isn't as good a series as people think.
How do you feel like that about this game, though? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Nope, it's definitely the game's fault.
Do you feel that, or do you feel like
No. I will. So yes and no.
okay,
I feel
like
this,
that? Did you feel like you're like, oh, that was my fault as a player, not the game's fault for its mechanics?
No.
Neither do I.
I feel like it is the game's fault.
Yeah, that's how I felt after playing this game.
Because this game is it's not that it's like designed poorly.
No.
But it's specifically its entire design and intent is that this is not a traditional way to play, which is totally fine to not have a traditional gameplay, movement. But it is like clearly the point is that this is a frustrating way to maneuver, and that you're not used to it, and that I think even like the dialogue is poking like that's like the big point of it. It's getting over it with Bennett Foddy, right? He's like, when are you gonna get over it? You know. I feel like the whole point of it is that yes, this is clearly a very frustrating control scheme.
Right.
And the whole point of it is like, yeah, it's designed to be frustrating.
Yeah.
So even if you were just maneuvering on flat land, this would be inconvenient to do so.
Yeah.
So here we go with this ridiculous. Like, imagine you were playing Mario 64,
Okay.
right? This still wouldn't be easy.
Yeah.
Like, and that game is like a known, old made 3D platformer, right?
Okay.
This would still be weird to maneuver in that world.
I mean, that's 3D and this is 2D, so that'd be part of the problem. But yes,
I mean, this is like 2.5. Well, I mean, it's like perceptually. Come on.
definitely
well.
a side scroller. But that's okay.
Hold on.
But yeah, if you're playing, oh, okay, Super Mario 3D Land or something. Oh wait, no, that's
still. That's
what's
also
the
3D.
what's the most recent
New
Super
Super
Mario
Mario Bros.
Brothers
Okay, so if you're playing New Super Mario Bros., all of
with
these
this
actions,
art style?
yes,
Yeah, with
and
this. Sorry, not art style, control style scheme.
Yeah, it would. Well, even if you had like traditional Mario controls, which is like a well-known 2D platformer, this would be difficult to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying this game's difficult.
So
with
even
Mario
if
controls.
the controls were better,
yes,
the way the rest of the game is set up, like the mechanics of which you are to traverse, since the mechanics are based off of your environment,
yeah,
would still be inconvenient. So yes, I do believe this is intentionally the game's fault.
okay, but so I honestly don't feel like I have much complaint about the actual level design.
Well, I don't have a complaint about it. I mean, it's just like if we're picking apples
I
to apples.
have a complaint about the control scheme. I feel like it's not. It doesn't help the player access the game in a way. Like if he makes a lot of comparisons to real hiking when he talks about this
God dang
game.
it.
But a big difference between this and real hiking is that you have much more fine motor skill control over your own body. You might not have the strength. This guy has unlimited strength, which is his whole advantage. But the control is kind of what's so I don't know. It's definitely not my kind of game though. I found that I don't have any desire to play this more.
Oh yeah, no, I honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm very unhappy with this game right now, and I don't want to play it.
We can stop.
No.
I have other things for us to do. I just wanted to show this game
I want
to
to
you.
do that, but
Okay.
this needs enough footage to be a whole episode, Patrick.
How long we've been recording?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't timing us. So we don't have like a whole 30-minute episode here, but I've been making my episodes 25 minutes recently anyway, so we're probably fine.